How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to Fire for Effect Live, 9 November 2022, the Remembrance Day edition, for lack of a better term. My name is Chris. Let's bring the boys in, the Olive Drab, two of the three Olive Drab hooligans, Mr. Bryce Hooper, Mr. Morgan Warren. What's going on, boys?
This is it.
Getting all geared up for Remembrance Day, or as Morgan calls it, the 1 year anniversary from when I got sent home.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys have any plans?
Well, I will be in Sayulita, Mexico.
Hey.
Pending WestJet's got some issues. So I don't fucking know, man. So I was on the phone all day trying to, because I got my name wrong because I used autofill, so I didn't use my full name. Sounds like it's sorted out, but we don't even know if that flight's canceled or not, because it's been a gong show. There was 200 canceled flights due to a data cooling problem, some bullshit answer for Russia hacked us or whatever. And I don't know, but yeah, the intent is at the 11th hour on the 11th day, I'll observe a minute of silence, take my poppy off, and put it on the cenotaph, which in this case is a margarita maker. Boom, done. It'll be the fucking it'll be the warmest.
That's awesome, Chris.
Right?
Actually,
it'll be the fucking warmest fucking Remembrance Day I've ever had. So that's me. I just got back from hunting camp, which was an epic fail. It was more like a $2,000 armed hiking trip. Yeah. What are you guys doing?
I'm hosting an event, an alternative form of remembrance for Homes for Heroes with my not-for-profit Above Your Service. And we'll be there from 12 to 5. We actually have Tim Hortons catering the event. Soups, sandwiches, and coffee, of course. A nice touch from the local Tim Hortons on 153rd, 97th, right by the Homes for Heroes. So if you get a chance and you're out and about, go grab your coffee from them to say thanks. And otherwise, I am going to be bundling up because it's supposed to be minus 30 for Friday, I believe.
What?
And the event is going to be outside.
It's supposed to be minus 6 Friday, man. Check your Met.
That'd be nice. I heard on Thursday night. Yeah, when I was supposed to go out on Thursday night as well.
No, I think you better check your weather app. I'm thinking you're looking at about minus 6, minus 8.
Oh, that's even better then. That's totally okay. That's much.
Yeah, that's the Met rep I'm tracking.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've heard a lot of shitty Met reps. Like, man, I left for hunting camp and it was beautiful out. Failed to plan because I'm getting weaker as I get older. And like no snow brush in my truck, nothing. And Snowmageddon fucking kicked in. And I'm like, why? You should know better. You should know better. So being a good Army guy, embrace the suck and carry on. So that's what I did. So Morgan, what are you doing? What do you got going on? What are you going to do on Friday? Because you're obviously in a weird space right now.
I don't know. I'm just going to kind of freewheel it. I've got zero plans. I'm just going to wake up and just see where the wind takes me, man.
Well, the boys got a thing on Thursday, tomorrow night, I believe.
But yeah, so. I'm gonna. Yeah, like I'll be doing that. I'll be over to see the boys on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Say hi to everybody. It's like standard fare every year stuff.
Yeah.
But the day of, I mean, maybe I'll wander over to the Legion, although I don't really like the Legion. Maybe I'll go to the Veteran Food Bank. I know they're hosting a small event over there as well.
Yep, and their event starts at 10:30. Their event starts there.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to be inside, so it can be minus 30 outside. I don't give a shit.
Inside and short and sweet. It's not a mindless. I'm not Legion bashing. I'm just saying that the Legion has a tendency, and I get it. I do get it to use Remembrance Day as a platform to promote their thing, and that's cool. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I'll leave it there. That I get it. But it's like I don't need 30 minutes of why people should join the Legion. That's
exactly. Yeah, give me all your money. Give me a membership for general.
Say your fucking bit and then shut the fuck up and get on with the actual ceremony thing. So that's my opinion there. I said it a year. I'm pretty sure we had the same conversation a year ago.
Yeah.
So we don't need to beat that to death anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I was asked by. We're not going PG yet. You can still swear, drink, and stuff. So yeah, the background is for those listening or watching. I don't know who's watching right now because nobody's on, which is fine. A school in Calgary through my oldest friend in life. His the woman in his life is a school teacher. So every year, schools across the country, try to educate kids on Remembrance Day and the importance of Remembrance Day and what it's all about. So she asked me if we could do a Q&A. Well, actually, she asked me if I could do a Q&A, and I went, well, I'm on live Wednesday anyway with the boys, and I'd rather get a varying range of experience in reference to the questions that are going to be asked. And then I'll because we automatically save the video under Restream when we're done the live feed. And I'll send you the video and you can play that back instead of just an email response to each question, right? So that was kind of the driver behind how we got to where we are now. And what the hell happened there? Fucking low tech Morgan.
No, I'm right here.
LOS. I didn't kick you out. I didn't kick you out. So yeah, that's what we're doing, which perfect drives content. Oh, and we are doing a pod next Wednesday while I'm in Mexico, and I will probably be fucking loaded.
Hopefully.
We are most
certainly. So it's going to be exactly like last year.
Yeah. Oh, last year, man. Different location. We're at Carl Coventry's house and his spot down there. So we're going to do this live next week for sure. So I'm bringing just my laptop down. It'll be a good time.
You obviously know people in Mexico who have property and so forth.
Yeah.
I've been debating the last couple with this weather rolling into Alberta and how amazing it is. I actually think I'm going to get out of here in January, February timeframe.
That's a
try
good
and
time
gather
to
as
go,
many
man.
people.
That's a good time to get out of here, right? Like it's
absolutely
because it's like I like December because I like Christmas. I know there's a bunch of Christmas haters out there, but especially with COVID, like I like the ambiance of the lights and shit, and I like the partying and stuff that goes with it. Like I enjoy Christmas time, so I make the most of December. It's not a depressing month to me. January and February are fucking like the lowest time of your life. If you can get the fuck out of the country, get down south, get somewhere warm, and like take care of your mental health.
Yeah, especially the Blue Monday, the third Monday.
Blue Monday, man, that's a legit thing, right?
Yeah. Like people are depressed because of the bills and the credit
all
scores
the
that they've had to go through.
Yeah, it feels darker, even though it's getting lighter. It just feels darker because all the Christmas ambiance is gone. Yeah. And it's like, man, I gotta suck on like 58 days of this shit. 59 days. Fuck me.
And you can't start the motorcycle because it's cold.
No, you just go there and look at it. Well, you fire it up to make sure it works. Hey, Mr. Perry, how you doing, Ryan?
Yeah, Palm Springs.
Palm Springs, buddy. He's onto it. He's got the right.
That's where we're
going. Approach. Yeah, no. If you January, February, like mid-Jan, and there's good deals on. You can find good deals. Get the fuck out of Northern Canada. It's not a happy place to be.
I hear Swoop is flying to Mexico now for $150 off sales and stuff like that. So
so my flight down is on WestJet. Total flight cost is $800. And what Swoop's owned by WestJet, or maybe it's Flair. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Coming back, especially military guys, even all their bullshit fees, you don't pay any of that shit. Coming back was like $200. So get the fuck out of the country if you can. Go somewhere that's warm. Take care of your brain. Get out of here. I don't want to be here in January and February. I will be, or maybe not. Maybe I'll get out of here. I don't know.
Yeah. So now we're looking for sponsors. Anybody who wants to fly a bunch of Army guys to a third location and let us party for 10
all
days.
All you listeners across the world. I know you're listening on the Spotify machine there.
Somebody has a private island.
To host, we can do remote pods from Puerto Rico or whatever. We're good at whatever.
Yeah, there we go.
Dominican Republic, maybe Panama, Thailand, Vietnam, wherever.
Preferably with some sort of weed that grows from the ground.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a drinker, but when I am, it's not good. So.
Oh, you go to the left. Yeah, that happens.
I either get emotional or I want to fight. So
yeah, that's why I stay off rye. I'm very selective in what I drink or when I like rye. I'd like to have a
Yeah.
shot of whiskey, but I won't do it in public because I go fucking completely off the rails, especially if my headspace is not right, which most of the time it isn't.
100%.
I avoid, I avoid that kind of liquor. I know with beer, which is my go-to, as you all know. I happen to have one right here, which will not be seen when we go PG. Ryan, we're going PG tonight, by the way. We got to answer for the kids, and we can't be dope smoking hippies and alcoholics that swear. They'll learn that later in life. Yeah, no, I get it. I'm selective about what I drink and where I drink and when I drink. So that's why I spend a lot of time at home. Anyway, should we jump into this or what?
Sure.
Okay. So this is where we do the hard break. Are you guys good to go? Have you had your toke? You're fucking good. So for those of you guys listening, like I said, this part of the pod is a piece I need to extract, edit, and send down to a school to be played for children to answer some Q&A. And there's some good questions in there. I'm surprised. These little 8-year-olds are inquisitive little fucking kids, man. So we're gonna keep the shit PG. I'm trying to get my best tutorial language out now. If we slip, I'll play it back. If we slip, I'll make a note at we slipped. We'll edit it out. I can't have the Calgary City Catholic School Board, getting Jenna and shit.
Yeah. Because we're calling people shitheads and cunts and things like that.
Yeah, shitheads, cunts, fuck nuts, cock knuckles, fucking dick lips. Yeah.
All the best names.
The cocksucker motherfucker.
They'll learn that later. They're 8 years old, so give them 5 years and they'll know all them fucking words. So in the interim, we'll keep it busy. So I'm going to suck on this vape, get as much nicotine in me as I can. Take my last couple swills of pale. And it is now 18:15. Let's go PG for the balance of this podcast. How's everybody doing at the Holy Name Catholic School in Calgary, Alberta? My name is Chris. With me is the Olive Drab Hooligans, Mr. Bryce Hooper, Mr. Morgan Warren. Now, I know to you young people out there that we might look like a bunch of hippies, but I'll show you what we used to look like. So back in the day, this is what Bryce looked like, right? Hardcore warrior, short haircut, not the beard you see there. This is him in Afghanistan. Which year was that?
That was 2008.
2008. There is Mr. Morgan Warren.
Big shooter.
The big shooter. Cool ball hat. Didn't have to wear the stupid helmets we had to.
Yep.
Had a little less facial hair back then.
A little bit less, yeah.
A little bit less. And that's myself and Mr. JT Ferris, who can't be with us tonight because he's now a City of Edmonton paramedic, and he is out keeping the streets safe. So that's what we looked like back in the day. So I'm going to jump right into the questions. We have a series of questions from the kids here. Thank you guys for being interested in learning about Remembrance Day, the background of it. I'll give you the thumbnail sketch of what Remembrance Day is, which I'm sure your teacher, Miss Benson's already gone through. But basically, Remembrance Day is a moment where Commonwealth countries across the world take a moment to respect sacrifices made by the men and women of our armed forces who served or made the ultimate sacrifice so that you can enjoy the freedoms that you do. Why November 11th? At the 11th hour of the 11th day at the end of World War I, the armistice was signed, basically signifying the end of World War I, November 11th, 1918. So I'm going to jump right to the questions so we can move on. So we have a few categories we're going to cover. The first is general. I'm doing this kind of backwards as to how they were sent. The second category is our jobs. The third category is what life was like over there. And the last is action and fighting. Now I'm being centric on Afghanistan, and to show you young people where Afghanistan is on a map. We are over here. I don't know if they can see this mouse pointer or not. Canada's up to the left, north of the United States. Isn't it funny how the United States makes their country look bigger than it is? Must be a U.S. made map. Afghanistan is in Southwest Asia, and it's bordered by several countries, including Pakistan. So it's not the Middle East, despite what you may have heard. It is in what is considered Southwest Asia, and it's represented by that little yellow dot on the map. I'll jump back to this later, but here's a map of Afghanistan while we were over there fighting the war as part of something called the International Security Assistance Force. And this gives you the disposition or the locations of where each contributing country was. And if you look down near the bottom middle in a province called Kandahar, that's where Canada finished its mission. You'll see the Canadian flag there, and you'll see all of the other countries and where they were. So there was a lot of activity going on down there. We'll come back to that. Let's jump to the questions. So the first question, and I'll kind of let you guys jump in however you want here. General questions is, and well, let's keep this brief. This is from Miles. Miles, great question. Very, very brief because we got a lot of questions to go through, gentlemen. Why did you join the Army? I know we've answered this before. Bryce, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I knew I wanted to join the Army when I was in kindergarten. It was just something that always called to me. I wanted to drive the big Army trucks and be a GI Joe.
There you go. Morgan.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, my answer is the same as Bryce's. It was always a calling. It's something I always wanted to do. Jumping out of airplanes, doing all that cool stuff. That's what I always wanted to do, and I got to do every bit of it. So, it's as simple as that. It's just something I always wanted to do.
There you go. For me, I actually didn't know anything about the Army. It's not the typical response that you got from Bryce and Morgan. I actually just needed a summer job, and there was a program through school, which maybe you guys could still have access to when you're older. And I joined the Army just for this program, and I loved it, and it turned into a 25-year thing for me. So that's kind of how we joined the Army. But a lot of people join the military because they really want to be in the military. It's not easy. And one of the questions here, we might not jump to it, but is it hard to be in the Army? And yeah, it is hard to be in the Army. It's hard to be in the military. It's a demanding career. There's a lot of expectations. So yeah, it's not easy.
I'll kind of springboard off what you just said. When you're in the Army, I'll speak to the Army because I was never in the Navy or the Air Force. The Army takes priority over everything. It doesn't matter what you want to do, what your family wants to do. If the Army says go, you're gone. It doesn't matter if it's Christmas morning, if it's the birth of your first child. It doesn't matter. When it's go time, it's go time.
So yeah, that question was from Claire. Great question. Yes, Claire, it's hard. It's not easy. It's a demanding career, but for anybody that's been in the military, we find it to be a rewarding career. Couple more here. I can answer most of these because it might not apply to all of us. Did you get a new job when you got back? So I guess that's from Stella. Yeah, I did because I left the military when I got back. Because the next question from Leo was, "Are you retired?" And I know Bryce retired, but I know Morgan's still in. So did you get a new job? Did you get posted? Yeah, I had to get a new job.
Yeah, I found a new job working in doctors' offices. I didn't think I'd ever be working with doctors and nurses after the Army, that's for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, there's Brad. Thanks for joining in, Brad. Let's get into the jobs. And this, again, so just so everybody's aware, a lot of the questions we're getting from you guys are centric on Afghanistan, and we appreciate that because that's, the freshest thing in everybody's mind. We've deployed to a lot of places, but we will focus on that because it's relevant to the questions that I've received. So we're getting into the next topic is our jobs over there. And This is from Claire B and Richard. Great question. Was it a good job? I'll let Morgan kick this one off.
I mean, I thought it was a great job. I had an amazing time. Like I said, the army was always a calling for me. I joined the army and I got to do everything I wanted to do. And even when Afghanistan kicked off in 2001, 2002, I couldn't wait to get over there. It was one of those things I wanted to do. It was like the final, kind of we say like your final test of your training. It was again it was hard. It was difficult. But it was a good job.
Bryce, you want to add to that?
Yeah, I was a driver in Afghanistan, so it was an amazing job. I got to see countryside that some people have never seen. Drive through mountainscapes, up through the Panjwai district. I got to see all sorts of different weathers in the desert as well. Everything from snow to rain to the hot sunshine. So
there you go. I guess I got to jump in too. Yeah, it was great. It's everything I wanted to do. It was the kind of like the end of my career in the military, and I had the latitude to do all the good things that I wanted to do. And my job over there was I ran a counter improvised explosive device team. So the bombs that were killing the Canadian soldiers over there, my team was responsible to take care of those bombs, and find the bad guys that did those horrible things. I'll answer a couple of these on behalf of everybody. Were there any moms that are soldiers? This is from Kean. Yes, there were. There are a lot of females that serve in the military in all different types of capacities and roles. And a lot of them are mothers, and it's very hard for them to be away from their kids. It's hard for me and anybody else. Like, I don't have any kids, but I know other people do. Like Morgan does. Bryce, do you get kids? Yeah. While you were deployed?
yeah, every single one of my tours that I went on, I had a new kid show up.
And that's normal. That's very much normal for people in the military to have children and then have to be gone. And it's hard on the kids when their parents are away in a war zone. So yes, there was lots of moms. Yeah, that should cover the job stuff. This is a good one. This is from, I don't know who this is from, but it says, did things get blown up after you fixed them? And how did you feel about it? Yes.
Yes, often.
Yes. Yes. Great question. Yes, things got blown up after we fixed them a lot, and we weren't happy about it. So I love that. That's a funny question. It's
everything from dams to wells to
dams to
vehicles to
everything.
There's actually another question coming up that kind of gets into that about road building and reconstruction. We'll come to that later. But yes, unfortunately, a lot of things we fixed got blown up from our own vehicles to roads and bridges that we were building to help the people that were over there. So great question. I love it. We're going to get into living over there. So what life was like while we were in Afghanistan. I'll kind of just bang through these in order. This question is from Sheila. Sorry, Stella. I can't read. I'm blind. I'm turning into an old man. There's no Sheila. Stella. I did this twice now. What did you eat and what did you miss eating from home? That's a cool question.
Absolutely.
I'll start with, I ate pretty well because I was eating out of the kitchen, unless we were eating what are called field rations, food we take with us. And I think what I missed the most from home was like the perfectly cooked, beautiful steak.
Oh yeah, back then it was either that or it was like ice cream, just because it was always
ice cream would have been good. Yeah, because it was hard to find. Morgan, do you remember anything that you missed? Because we all kind of ate the same food, more or less.
Yeah, it depends. Like, there's times I remember once for like 3 months we were in a combat outpost and we were eating like hard rations for 3 months, to the point where like you hated these things so much you were only eating like a ration a day because you just couldn't stomach it any longer.
So hard rations for you guys, they're basically a meal in an aluminum bag, and you heat it in boiling water or or some way of heating it,
or in your armpit.
or in your armpit.
Like, I
Right?
guess to put it into perspective for like somebody who doesn't know what it is to really kind of wrap their mind around it, it would be like eating canned food all the time. It'd be like eating like a can of beans or a can of like ravioli or,
That's a great
or things like
analogy.
that.
So you kids imagine having to eat chunky soup every day. Now we don't
Yeah.
mind it once in a while, but after 3 weeks of eating the same chicken noodle soup out of a can,
Breakfast, lunch,
you might get a little bit wanting for more.
Yeah.
So great question. This is a good one. This comes from Kian and Loretta. Have you ever seen kids in the war zone?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Driving in my truck, I used to actually bring pens and pencils and little trinkets and toys and stuff that I would,
Yeah, we did. When I was on my first tour over there, there was a school that we sponsored. So there was a lot of donations coming over from schools like the one you guys attend that would donate pens, pencils, backpacks, all the things that you take for granted going to school every day. These would be put in big boxes, put on military airplanes, flown into Afghanistan, and we would take those things and distribute them to the children who didn't have anything. So don't take for granted your day-to-day life of your pens and pencils that your mom and your dad buy you for the new school year. You know, we had to deliver these with guns to make sure the bad guys didn't intercept that. We had to make sure that they got these materials so that they could learn, because over there, education, especially for young girls, is not allowed. So we were trying to change that. So that's a great question.
Yeah, with the regards like the like children in a war zone too. Some of the unfortunate parts of war, especially in these modern days, is you'd even had kids shooting at you sometimes. So, I mean, that happened to me more than once.
Wow.
Yeah, no, for sure. Let's take a couple more. Stella also wants to know, how did we sleep? I'm like, well, I don't know. It depends when we slept.
Yeah.
So sometimes not at all, and sometimes as best you could, depending on where you were.
Yeah.
Whether you were sleeping on the ground out in the middle of the desert, or if you were back in a camp and you had your own bed, which depended on, how busy we were. How long? Claire B wants to know, how long were we there? Typically 6 to 7 months is the deployment length.
Yeah.
Some deployments were 9 months, some were a year, some were shorter, depending on operational tempo and what was going on. But on the average, we normally go over there for 7 months at a time. We come back for about 18 months max, and then we go again till that conflict is, or we're done. How old were the people fighting in the war? From Kian. What do you think the mean average age was of guys over there? 22? No, not the bad guys. For us, would you say mid 20s?
Yeah.
Feels like
I had a young guy in my section in 2008, and he had just turned like 18. He had just finished high school. He was C9 gunner. He's a machine gunner, and he was 18 years old. But yeah, I'd say like mid 20s is probably like average.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right. Next question.
I think I was 25 and I was the old guy.
Yeah, it feels like mid 20s, not like yeah. This question is from Maggie, and this is a great question. Do you still have friends from that time? For me, absolutely. Everybody that I pretty much associate with in my life, and I think you guys can relate to what I'm.
Those are most of my friends.
Those are most of our friends are people that we served with when we were overseas. So great question.
Yeah, good question.
I like this question. This next question is a cool question because I'm a dog lover. It's from Teo, and it's like, did you have any pets?
Oh,
yes, we did.
Absolutely. Right? Yeah.
Go ahead, Bryce.
There was always a dog that we could treat or bring some sort of food around or or throw a stick with or something like that. There was always some sort of puppy that would show up for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure that every Cyprus we had dogs that you adopt that from the previous guys that that we replaced.
Yeah.
You'd inherit the camp dog, and then Bosnia, same thing, and Afghanistan for sure.
Yeah.
There's always, it was mostly dogs that became part of the property that we were living on, and we took care of them. And then when we left, and our friends that came in to replace us, they took care of those dogs. So yes, we had pets. It was good for morale. It made you happy to have them around for sure.
There was a lot of cats around when I was in Camp Mirage too.
Yeah, there were lots of cats. Keep the mic.
Lots of cats. Yeah.
This question I'll field. Did you use any animals in the war? That's also from Teo. And he said, he or she, sorry, I'm not sure. We have a poster from the Legion about helper animals like pigeons, horses, and other mascot animals. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, so in bomb disposal, we use dogs to find explosives. So yes, we used animals in what we did. Definitely bomb dogs to help protect homes for sure.
Yeah, a lot of dogs.
A lot of mules. I know there's guys that use mules or the smaller horses.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Especially in the smaller fobs, you'd all of a sudden show up with a mule instead of a forklift, and they'd be moving stuff around. So
yeah, I mean, you make maximum use of the resources available to you while you're there.
A comment coming in from Ryan Perry, one of his tours in the Golan Heights. There was a tour dog that had a number 35 on his tour ribbon.
Wow,
which means he had been taken care of for 35 tours.
Which is assuming 6 months. That's like 16 and 17 years.
Yeah,
that's a good solid life.
It is a good life.
A pet on the base.
This next question is also from Stella, and it's: were you scared? Yes, absolutely, 100% scared. And anybody that claims otherwise is lying, or they're crazy.
Yeah. Or they're crazy. Yeah.
Next question is: when did your day start and end? Well,
there's no real start or end. It just
I'll let you run with that.
Yeah. There's no real start or end to your day. You're there for 7 months, and it's just you just go with it, right?
Especially as a sniper, I guess. Hey.
Yeah, like you're just kind of rolling with it. If you it's like Chris said, if you're in camp and you've got a bit more regular schedule and you're sleeping in a proper bed, maybe you'll get some like regular 9 to 5 days, like a school day. But when you were outside of these main camps, you slept when you slept, you were awake when you were awake, and you did the job and whenever worked. If that was from like midnight to 8 a.m. or that was all after all day or 3 days straight or what have you, you did it, right?
Yeah, like I mean, I was in a what's called a quick reaction force. So if the main forces that were out doing their thing got into trouble or there was a bomb, they would call us. So I spent 7 months on 15 minutes notice to move. So what that meant is anything could happen within 15 minutes. We would roll out to help solve a problem. So there was no particular start or end of the day. And Bryce, if you got called out at 2 a.m, 4 p.m, you're on call, if you will, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, the entire time you're there. There's no real, work from 9 to 5, 8 to 4. It doesn't really work that way.
Even in the transport world, where guys driving trucks, I've heard stories of some guys getting back to the base that they were supposed to be ending their day at. And then there was other trucks loaded and ready for those guys to go back out onto the roads again. Even after driving a 20-hour day, there was just stuff that had to go back out and get delivered. So you just get to sleep the next day or eat the next day.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that kind of drives the next question that I found here from Maggie. She goes, "Did you have any time off?" So we get a leave period, like a holiday period, at some point during the tour. That's about 2 weeks long. That's about it. While we're over there, time off, depending on what organization you worked for, if there was a scheduled time on, time off period. I didn't have any time off booked per se, other than
No.
a 2 week break in the middle of the tour. So, I mean, I guess to simplify this to answer the question for all three of us, there's no set time off other than in 7 months, you're going to get 2 weeks off. Other than
There's
that, assume that you're working the entire time that you're there.
There's a great analogy in the comments from our friend Ryan again. It's each month is a day of the week, and then you go home on Sunday. So your first month is a Monday, and you go from there.
There you go. Okay, we're gonna get into action and fighting. This is where all the big questions come. And they're inquisitive kids, and I appreciate these questions, and we're going to be as candid and honest with you as we can, because we don't feel it's fair to you to shelter you from the realities of the questions that you're going to ask. So I'm just going to hit every one of these. I'm not going to censor any of them out. So action and fighting. First question. Did they bomb the base? From Claire. Yes, they did.
Actually, there was times of the day where we didn't work on some of the bases because they were expected to bomb us. Some days it was supper break at one base where the tanks were in the mountains. They would always bomb us around 5 o'clock, and it would go for about an hour just to try to interrupt our supper. So we would just eventually work around that.
Yeah, like bombing the base or attacking the base was a routine thing. That's what the bad guys did, and that was a normal thing for us. So great question. Yes, they did. The next question is, and this is a strength question. I need you guys' help on this because it's an ambiguous number. How big was the Taliban? It's a multi-part question. This is from Lincoln and Aaron. How big was the Taliban, and were there more of you or more of them? I believe the estimated strength of the Taliban, how many, was 20,000 in 2009. And I can't confirm that. I'd have to dig in a little deeper. But so to simplify this answer for you, there was more of us than them, but they had the advantage to cross the border into Pakistan, where we were not allowed to go fight them. They also had the advantage that they blended into the civilian population. They did not wear uniforms like we did. So they were dressed like normal people. So it was very hard for us to differentiate between bad guys and the good people of the country that, so that was the challenge.
Like spies.
Yes. So
Yeah.
did we outnumber the Taliban? Yes, we did. We had more of us than them, but there were a lot of challenges in how, we dealt with it, because they're very hard, very elusive, and very hard to find. So it's a good question. Great question. I like this one from Stella. She's very inquisitive, Stella. Great question. Did you have spies?
Hey.
Yes, officially, no.
We can't talk about that.
Yeah, we're limited in our response to your question, but let's just say that we have intelligence personnel in varying positions that, because if you look at historical warfare, there's been spies in every war. So that's a true thing, if that's the question you're asking. Yes, we did have spies, and I think we can leave it there.
Yeah.
Right? But no, fair question. I love it.
Good question, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's from Alex. It's point blank. Did you see anyone die? I'm just gonna say yes.
Yeah, so did I.
We're good. Okay. Yes, we've seen people die.
Yeah.
I've seen friends that were soldiers die, and I've seen innocent civilians, Afghan people that were caught in the crossfire is not the word I'm looking for, that were victims of collateral damage, victims of warfare. that died
Yep.
from the hands of the bad guys. So yes, we did. So fair question. Like, I'm not going to edit this. Did we have hand-to-hand combat? That's from Carter. This guy wants to get in the UFC, I think.
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of.
Watching too many World War II movies.
Yeah, we're trained in hand-to-hand combat, depending on your trade. The infantry guys.
Yeah, not me.
Close quarter combat. I am not. I did a basic close quarter combat course in the early 90s. But I don't know of any instance where we were in hand-to-hand combat, unless Morgan, you want to.
No, we had some close quarters, but never, never dropping the weapon.
I did get in a fight with a guy who had a backpack while I was driving a semi-truck, if that counts.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'll get to the viewers' questions in a bit. We got to take care of the kids first. Mike's had a good question. Where did we leave off? Were you injured? Yes. I had an entire mud wall fall on my back that I thought were indestructible. I didn't get shot. I've been, I don't know how was I injured? Yes, I was injured. I don't know. Do you guys want to help me out with this?
Yeah, I fell off the top of a sea container, so
I didn't get shot.
I think Chris, I think maybe like the real question was like, were any of us wounded?
Yeah.
And I was not wounded. I mean,
not in combat. No.
Yeah.
All of my injuries were random acts of God.
Yeah.
Or personal stupidity. We'll leave it there. Yes, I know people who were wounded over there and injured in combat. Fortunately for the three of us, that wasn't us.
No.
But fair question.
Good question.
This is a great question, and Bryce, don't go off on a tangent. It's from Mason. If you get sick, would you be cared for?
Absolutely. Because depending on what base you're on, there's always going to be a doctor and nurses close by. It may just be a medic attached to your platoon or to your section, but there's always going to be a doc of some kind, up into including a helicopter that has to come in with a doctor on it.
Yeah. Absolutely. So if I go back to my little hero picture, so that's
JT.
There's JT. So JT, he was the Bison ambulance commander. So that guy to the right of me, yes, we're drinking Red Bull. He was responsible for an ambulance that had a medic. Three of the people that were in it were medics.
Yep.
And one was a driver, one was a crew commander, and the other was the medic. And all
my jobs as well.
Yeah, all three of them were medical people. So we always had help. As far as mental health, which is a thing, goes, we had access to mental health resources. They were called critical incident stress debrief teams. So if something bad happened, and bad things happen, and people were upset and stressed out about it, those teams would come in and try to help us out. So great question. Yes, we 100% had access to that. Oh. What weapons did you use? All right. This is from Lincoln. He's getting right to it. Great question. So Morgan, walk Lincoln through, because you had the cool stuff.
Yeah. So in that photograph there is it's an Armalite AR-10 Tango. It's a sniper rifle with a 3 to 12 power scope on it, and that big long can on the end of the muzzle there. That was a suppressor, or sound suppressing device. We had those. Then we could go up from there. We had bolt action, like 338s, and then we had up to our bolt action 50 caliber. Yeah. I mean, that was what I used. And then obviously we'd have pistols as well as like our standard, our service rifle, either a C7 or a C8, which is what Chris has in those,
Yeah.
Bryce
So
as well,
there's
having those
Bryce.
photographs.
Bryce has got what we call I apologize for the long-winded military acronyms, but that is a C7A2 assault rifle. And I have a C8A3, which is just a little baby version of the same weapon. That's the standard weapons. But if you want to get into what else we had tanks, we had artillery, we had light armored vehicles with 25 millimeter cannons on them. We had a lot of weapons. So I hope that satisfies the question.
Yeah.
It was to protect us and to protect the people of Afghanistan. And yeah, that's we were I think we were well equipped with weaponry over there. I won't.
Yeah, we were well equipped.
I'm not, and our coalition forces that we served with the Americans and the British, they had aircraft, fighter bomber aircraft. So we were good. We had all the weapons we needed, young man. If that answers your question.
Yeah, we had it all.
Did any of your friends get hurt or die? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we. I think we all lost some people over there.
Yeah.
And that's the nature of what those conflicts are about. In order to make sure that all you guys enjoy the freedoms and rights that you have, good people need to go over there and do the things to make sure that the bad guys can't come here and hurt you. I don't know how to simplify that anymore, so that's it. I think that'll wrap it up for the Q&A from the kids. I hope you guys have a great day. Big shout out to all the kids, the grade 3 kids, from Holy Name Catholic School, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Thank you guys for your time. Please, I hope you enjoyed or will enjoy Remembrance Day and take that 2 minutes of silence at 11 o'clock on November 11th. Remember the sacrifices by all the men and women that served this country that came before you. And yeah, thanks, guys. All right. We can go non-PG now. Let's go to the board here.
Hey.
What was
right off the bat, positive Mike?
Positive Mike.
There's a big question.
Any grenades go off near you? Well, not me, but I know.
Well, actually, no, Chris. Like any grenade that goes off around you, whether it's in a grenade bay or it's overseas somewhere, it's near you. Those things that far,
right? You know? Great point. Yeah, I don't know what to say.
We've all had grenades go off in close proximity to us, whether it was in training or on operations,
sure.
right? So
but over there, but
say that again. No, I can't hear you.
I think we're talking about talking. I think Mike's asking about incoming, not outgoing.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, rocket propelled grenades. I've had a few of those close calls.
Yeah, I guess that counts. RPG. We've had them.
Yeah.
I know Scotty Shipway before he got killed. He got his first tour. He got injured from a grenade. They were clearing a building, going up the stairs, and suddenly, like a fucking Hollywood movie, click, 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 click down the stairs. Fucking whack.
So yeah, you know what? Actually, I heard a story from guys that were in 06 that were truck drivers that had an RPG where it went into the soft skin of the HL and underneath the legs of the driver and then out the passenger door without detonating.
Yeah, oh, Chris,
we've got some great chatter in the.
Yeah.
Get after it, Chris.
Well, at least it didn't happen with the during the not during.
I apologize to the listeners. I do not have a producer, but sexfine.xyz is find yourself a hot girl here. I think I need to fucking manage this.
Hey,
Oh no, Chris, I'm very interested in this. We should investigate this further.
You can click the link later. We're having issues here.
I'll quickly screenshot this. Oh, yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Take a picture of it.
On occasion, sex user or whatever will show up. So I apologize for that. Yeah, I don't know. I think I've lost the entire chat group now. I don't know what the hell happened. Anyway.
Anyway.
Apologize in advance for the technical difficulties. I got nothing else, man. You guys got anything you want to yak about here before we punch this out? I got to go pack for Mexico.
When are you leaving?
You're still an asshole. By the
Hopefully.
way.
Tomorrow morning, man, 11 a.m. Theoretically.
Yeah, okay, I was going to say, yeah, so I'm not going to see you tomorrow night then.
No, pending WestJet's debacle.
Yes.
Because they're having some challenges. Theoretically, we're on an aircraft at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Skids up, boom, gone. But I don't know. I'll let you know. I'll tell you what, if you see me at the clubhouse tomorrow night, then you'll know we didn't make it.
Yeah, fair enough. And you're gonna be the sad. You're gonna be the sad guy in the corner trying to drink away your sorrows.
No, they'll change it. I'll say, okay, if you're gonna rebook me for like Saturday, so I can do Remembrance Day while I'm here.
Yeah, might as well.
All right, just sit tight, boys. We're gonna wrap this up. Thank you guys for that. I don't know how to talk to grade 8 kids or 8-year-old kids that are in grade 3. I think we did as good as we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, November 11th is coming up. All we're asking is whatever your day-to-day is to just take those 2 minutes at 11 o'clock on Friday and just shut your mouth and pay some respects. If you have your opportunity to hit your local Legion or Cenotaph, please go down there. But take 2 minutes of silence and remember the sacrifices made by everybody that came before you, that served, that allows you to enjoy the rights and freedoms that you have, despite the polarity and shit going on in this country and across the world. There's a reason you have the right to bitch, piss, and moan about whatever side of the fence you're on. So let's park it there.
And remember, if you're a veteran, there are alternative options out there to going to a cenotaph if that's too hard for you.
That's a good point. Before we
get out of your house,
that's a great point.
Get out of that dark spot. It's a hard week. It's a hard month, anyways.
Good point, man.
There's several cannabis clinics out there that have space for you. There are several legions. You don't have to drink if you go out, but at least get out and check in on a friend. And if you've got a quiet friend who you haven't heard from in an hour or 2 hours, give that motherfucker a call, because this is the wrong time of year to go silent, boys.
Yeah, tough time of the year, and I get it. I'm the same way. I've been kind of steering clear of the mainstream Remembrance Days activities I would go to.
Yeah,
it's the time of the year, so I'm looking for alternatives, and I know they are out there. Veterans Association Food Bank has the thing on. Yeah. Whatever. Fine. If it's too much to go and sit through the whole thing, find an alternative, or find a bunch of guys that feel the same way as you and do your own thing. Yeah, but do something. Don't do nothing.
If you're in Edmonton and you want to get out of your house, there is Homes for Heroes that has an event. There is the food bank. There is several cannabis clinics that have veteran spaces that are going to be open all day, every day.
Yeah.
If you need a hand, shoot me a message. I can definitely shoot you some directions. You just need everybody to get together more than anything.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Thank you guys for everybody that tuned in. Everybody's watching, everybody listening to this on your favorite podcast platform. I'm going to wrap this thing up. Fire for Effect Live, brought to you by Mr. Hooper Inc. As Bryce alluded to, there are alternatives to conventional medicine. Get a hold of Mr. Hooper Inc. and Bryce and the people there will hook you up. Positive Mike's Brewing Company. Mike's on tonight. Makes amazing beer and amazing gear. Oh, by the way, it is Movember, and I'm going to shave tomorrow. I just came back from hunting camp, and I'll be rocking my my Movember edition of Positive Mike's gear. Great beer, great gear. Check them out. You can get them on all your social media platforms. Lakeside Farmstead, my good friends up at Lakeside Farmsteads, Mr. Jeff Nonay and his family, producing amazing dairy products, outstanding and exceptional cross Wagyu beef. Check those guys out as well. Last but not least, DeanBlundell.com. Check out DeanBlundell.com for Canada's largest digital source of sports, news, media, and wonky podcasts. So check it out. I hope everybody had a good time tonight. Thank you for Oh, plug the merch site, Mike. I need to know your merch site. Get at me later. Mike's got a merch site. We'll find it for you. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a gooder, and we will see you later.